ultra luxury accessories at Fashion File, covered by our lifetime guarantee. Nothing.
Você quer marretada do Tom?
Toma marretada do Tom.
Ou tu quer porradeiro de leve? Você quer marretada do Tom? Tu quer porradeiro de leve?
Você quer marretada do Tom? Tu quer porradeiro de leve?
Quer marretada do Tom? Tu quer porradeiro de leve?
Nem te conto. Sabe o Pedro Henrique? Caralho, ele é brabo.
Marretada do Tom? Tu quer porradeiro de leve? Você quer marretada do Tom? Tu quer porradeiro de leve?
Do quadro de pego sem dó. De lado de pego sem dó. Do quadro de pego sem dó. Do quadro piraca. Do quadro piraca. Do quadro piraca. Pode tocar essa tropa do Tom.
Toma botada, toma botada, toma botada, costela já toma socada, toma botada, toma botada, toma botada,
Nossa, amiga, nem te conto. Sabe o Pedro Henrique? Caralho, ele é brabo.
Você quer uma licença, porque ele tá na
é
mídia.
putaria com FG, cachorrada com PE.
So I usually don't do videos on Saturdays like that, because it's usually certain like the rest period or whatever. Plus, I gotta go to work tomorrow, but sometimes it's like a pre-planned thing because I really don't like Sundays, but I filled my time in with Sundays. And Saturday is probably the only free time I have. Well, not really. I have more free time than that. But this week, Saturday is the only free time I got right now. But no, free day. Not free time, free day. I'm starting to notice this on both sides. You have men who don't want men to come over to their country, but they won't hurt them, and they won't obviously say it on video, but they will make videos to try to bust the bubble of passport men, right? So it's this trend now that these idiots are starting to catch up with, that Japan has a cheating culture. And they have a workaholic culture and all this other stuff that they try to say. Every time I get these people in a certain situation, I ask them, I said, do you want Japan to look like the United States? Now, the whole goal for them is to have us not have anything left. Japan is probably the only place, well, not Japan, Korea, Japan, Indonesia, and a couple other countries is the only safe haven places for men to watch actual entertainment. Manga and anime has been the sanctuary for a whole bunch of people because the wokeified bullshit that happened in the entertainment industry over here. So they're mad because we have an alternative to go to, and we don't have to go to their dog shit movies. Like the Marvels and all this woke shit that they put out, they wanted men to just get a bunch of girlfriends and wives and tolerate this shit. Now men don't have to go out here and date and tolerate shit that they don't like and talk about shit that they don't like and politics that they don't like and shit that and everything that they don't feel comfortable with. And they're trying to make Japan into a fucked up place now. They try to turn Japan into a third world country. And I'm starting to see this with some of these interviewers that interview Japan. They try to destroy the image of Japan so men don't go there and date the women. So we can be like, oh, they're just like American women. We don't want to go over there, right? So I'm going to show you a whole bunch of videos, and I'm going to show you a whole bunch of people who they shouldn't even be talking about the problems in Japan. They shouldn't even be talking about anything in Japan until they fix their own shit. If you can't fix the dating in America, the cheating in America, the STD problem, the crime rate in America, why the fuck are you sitting here talking about Japan? Mind you, these people are fucking up cities on purpose so you can move to some of these fucking cities. Because Man of Tomorrow alluded to this shit. He's pretty much tells you that you have to move to a better city, country, or continent, whatever, a better place, and you have to make $100,000. So basically, they fucking up every other city to make you move to a city for you to be quote unquote productive, which is a good thing. But they're trying to sell you safety and comfortability at a higher cost. Instead of making these cities safe, they making these cities shit so all those people can get their money up and go to one place, and they make that place expensive. It's shit for you to pay, for you to be in. It's a way to keep all of the rapper rousers out. But why would you do that shit when some people don't want to be in a place where they paying $500, $600 for groceries? Oh, you should just stay into this. You should just stay into the liberal places and this. Hey, man, these places were supposed to run a certain way. Or you supposed to keep certain places at a certain... you were supposed to keep crime at a bare minimum. Or you supposed to keep crime at a certain specific places. If I was in places where the crime was at, if it was in every city had hot spots where the crime was at, which it is true, then you would have to leave those spots and go to a better neighborhood. But it's happening everywhere, in all these cities. So no one wants to move into no rural area just to pay more expensive bills, because they have to make money because it's expensive. It's like telling somebody to move to Australia, even though you know Australia has high ass taxes and everything else. So they're trying to get people, they're trying to get passport bros and men who want to go somewhere else to not go to another country and stay here. It's the same shit with the whole, you can pay for it here, you don't have to worry. What do you mean? The women here can take your life and say you raped her because you were paying for prostitution. Or they could overcharge you because they don't like the way you look. Or tell you you're so ugly and fat that they don't want to serve you as a customer. While you go overseas, that's their job, right? They're trying to destroy the imagery that you have in your head about another country, or should I say, not the imagery, your eagerness to go somewhere else. They're trying to destroy it and make you depressed so you don't go nowhere, so they can continue for you to be a punching bag. The whole point against passport bros is to make us sit here and choose them, waste our money on them, waste our money on their concept, and keep taking risks while you keep taking losses. And I think I'm going to make another video after this one saying that men can't do a lifetime of risk because there ain't nobody to save them in the end. At all. Women can take a whole bunch of risks. They can gamble away anything they do. They can gamble away their youth. They can gamble away their money. And it's always someone there to save them. The government will save their ass. Or another guy will save them. If you make a risk, you ain't going to recover from it. For God's sakes, I got into a hole right now that I got to sit here and go to another trade school, find another place, make sure it's legit this time, and do the start all over again from what I had to do back in 2017. From that point on, I was making somewhat good money, and it was okay. Then the pandemic hit, and then shit started getting exposed, stuff started happening, and then eventually it was like, okay, I gotta choose another thing. There was a a risk reward shit that happened back then in 2016 to 17. But the fact is, a lot of these motherfuckers, it's a culture of men have to risk every single time, because, well, somehow, some way, magically, it'll be okay as long as you keep going, risking, getting out of your comfort zone, risking. Every single time. Men supposed to keep risking everything. While the women, they can do whatever they want, waste people time, waste people money, and you got to keep going with this culture. The culture of risk. There's so many videos that's popping up about Japan and the cheating culture. And I'm laughing because I knew about Japan cheating culture decades before these dumb dicks. Before Whitney Venti, Aberrant Preach, even the dudes started talking about it. It was a workaround at that point. Because both men and women couldn't sleep. They didn't know how their culture, some of the things in their culture in Japan couldn't teach them. It's not because of work culture. Because they can literally, it's a culture everywhere. In South America, in some South American country, even the Dominican Republic. Dominican Republic, look, there's a whole bunch of married women that are sleeping with foreigners. You know the reason why that happens? Because the husband sends them there. Hey, I don't want to be with you like that. I love you and everything, but I want you to get dick somewhere else. Don't tell me about it. Don't show me. Just get some dick somewhere else. So I can get vagina somewhere else. And it keeps their relationship. I told people years ago about that. Some men has high sex drives to the point where their wife can't satisfy them. And their wife know that they go out and sleep with other women because the woman can't satisfy a sex drive. But a woman wants the relationship and wants a man. A lot of these people don't know how to cessate a guy who has a high sex drive. They don't. They want to put you on time limits and they want to do all this. It don't work for a person who has high sex drive. And then they try to blame porn for it. And it's like, no, if this motherfucker never watched porn and he still has a high sex drive, what do you say about that? You can't say shit. All you have to say is porn. You blame it on some stupid shit. But there's other countries and cultures who have high sex drive. And there's other cultures that have low sex drives. There's people in other cultures that barely have sex with their wives. Their wife don't cheat or nothing. Their wife is horny as hell. I told you about a guy and his wife was married for 7 years. They didn't have good sex for 7 fucking years until he got a promotion. Well, not a promotion, until he became at the level he wanted to be at. He got to. And it took him 7-something years to get into a company level, high level position. And then he worried about the sex with his wife because he had more free time. And his wife stayed there for 7 years without no sex. Without barely no sex. Sex for her. I told a lot of men this. There's a reason why a lot of black men and white men take advantage of this, is because in other countries, a lot of men are having selfish sex. They're not having sex for the woman to pleasure the woman. They're having sex to pleasure themselves. So a lot of women get sick of that and they want to look for a foreigner. And a lot of women talk to each other overseas. They don't talk to the women over here. They talk to each other and say, hey, that gringo knew what he was doing in bed. He was taking care of me like crazy. Oh yeah, that gringo right there, blah, blah, blah. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Oh yeah, that foreigner, that Gaijin, they're fun in bed, blah, 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 blah. That's why some of the women who in rural areas come right to certain places just to go mess with the guys that are coming to the country. That's a bad and a good thing in general. So some cultures don't have a lot of good sex. Some cultures, the guys don't even know how to have sex. A lot of them don't. You have a whole culture of men who don't know how to go down on a woman because they skill based and their productivity. There's guys who aren't capable of having good sex because they don't have the equipment to do so. So if they want to get married for the culture and they want to use prostitutes for the sex, but they want to put the what you mean they want to subsidize, if that's the correct term, subsidize their sexual lives to other people, and they want to, for their marriage, they want to just sit there and do the other marriage part, and maybe they'll meet in between and have sex with each other and discover. Why not? If the wife don't want to have this outrageous sex, but he can pay a woman to do it, why not? If a woman want to have sex with big dong guy and she ain't gonna leave her husband, why not? And I'm talking about strictly over there in their cultures. I mean, you can't change the race. I mean, in Thailand, there's a lot of husbands and boyfriends who know their wife is getting banged out by BBCs. And the only thing they tell their husband, I mean, the only thing they tell their girlfriends or wife, don't leave me for him. Don't leave me for him. That's it. That's all. And they flock to it. A lot of people, a lot of men in other cultures give the subsidize their sex to other men, so their wife can calm the fuck down and they have a better peaceful house. That's what the whole cucking thing is about. Difference is that cucking became more for the women and less for the guy. Now, cucking has a long ass history, but mostly it was for men who don't want to keep satisfying their woman, and want to give their woman a role so they don't break up the marriage. It happens in the white neighborhood. I mean, in the white culture a lot, even in the black culture. They call it to spice themselves up, but a lot of dudes don't want to see it. They tell their woman to record it, and they act like they like it, and then they go out and bang a couple girls. So to try to act like that culture is so bad, even though we have a culture here, yeah, it looks stupid. Now, let's see what all these people have to say about cheating in Japan, and I'm going to give my thoughts about this stuff.
Coming in.
All new Pizza Hut $7 deal lovers menu. Choose your $7 faves 7 days a week.
Bring on Black Friday at Kohl's. Starting tomorrow, get 50% off Amazon Tab.
風俗は浮気かどうか。
浮気ではない。
めちゃくちゃ多いと思います。めっちゃ多いと思います。ほぼ100%だと思います。
結構そうですね。周りは結構みんな浮気しますね。
You just know watching that clip that the manosphere types are like, base? Japanese women let their men cheat? What they don't realize is why they're allowing it. It's because the women are cheating too.
周りにいますか?
And that's okay if both sides cheat. I mean, this is the thing. If it's an agreed cheating on each other, then it's okay. See, what they don't like is the fact that men can cheat too. See, in America, men have to beg women to like them and date them. It was never the other way around. Most men, the average man, only have access to about 3 different women. One category of woman and 3 different selection of women their whole entire life. No matter how hard they work, no matter how many dates they have, they probably only have access to 3. Let's take that bullshit out of college, because not every guy's in college. We're talking about guys who are outside of college. Let me make it specific. Guys that are not in college, outside of college, who are into dating in the open market, only have access to 3 women. That's my stats and analysis. The average guy they will get annoyed by the time they have to date a 5th or 6th woman, because they got to do the same routine over again. They get to know somebody, talking to them, blah, 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 blah. Eventually it'll get redundant. And then at that time, you probably will go you will probably start to ignore red flags and get yourself in stupid situations. Now, Brinksy Vincey is trying her best to gain some relevancy going against the so-called manosphere. This is what a lot of them are doing now, because ever since the opportunist pill guys came in and pretended they were red pill helping men, like the Fresh and Fits, the fucking Sneakos and Andrew Tates and all these other people, Zerkov when he got his ass whipped, all these guys were feeding off each other and feeding off of these men. The men that mind you, the society created, so they can have more men to use for money and boost the egos of women. So she trying to gain some relevancy off of these videos, pretending that she's not that woman. And I'm gonna expose her. The fact is that her dating habits back in like 6 years ago, when she dated a guy and the guy snapped on her and everything else, and I can't find that video, but they got a little clip of it or whatever. I wouldn't want to date a woman who has to record every single thing that I do and say. Mind you, all she does is stream and shit. Her eyes, at some point, about I think 2 or 3 years ago, her eyes were so fucked up because she was staring at the screen for so long that she had eye retinal or something like that. And her best friend had to like do her screens for her a couple years ago. She picked a fight with some girl named Eliza Blue or something like that, and then everybody felt sorry for her because she picked the fight. See, Brittany Venti is one of the people who go on an easy target crusade of going against porn. Right? It's easy to say porn is bad. I'm a good woman. I mean, even ex-porn stars tried that route and said, oh, everybody's anti-porn. Eventually, people stop listening. It's the easiest grift. It's the easiest. There's a lot of movements. There's a lot of activist movements. A lot of activist movements that you can get into. That's easy to get into and get an easy following. It's the anti-porn crowd. A lot of women blame porn the reason why no man wants to fuck with them. Not because of their personality, not because they're prunes in bed, not because they don't try to upgrade their sexual stuff. It's because porn. And if you take away porn, somehow, some way, they're going to be able to, the DMs and everything going to be flooded. They're mad because their attention dried up. They mad because men ain't trying to take them out and beg them for sex. They're mad because instead of 100 men trying to ask them out, they only have the men they only fuck with. And once the men that they fuck with stop fucking with them, now they lonely. They don't got a lot of quote-unquote beta orbiters. They don't got a lot of people feeding their egos. Now they blaming porn and they want to take that out. They want to get rid of that. And porn is a $1 billion industry that fill the pockets of a lot of people. They're never going to get rid of porn. But these idiots will think that somehow, some way, men should just leave it alone and go to the status quo and beg them for sex and beg them for affections. Because in this culture, it's about using and humiliating men, then giving them a small reward, and then humiliating them more for sex.
周りにはいないですか、そういう浮気とか不倫してる、まあ男性でも女性でも。それは男女両方。
うちもどっちですね。
日本人の男も浮気する人が多いですか、どう思いますか。
あ、浮気します。
女より男の方が多い。
なんか多分女の子は隠すのが上手いだけで、そうどっちもどっちだと思うんですけど。
風俗は浮気かどうかっていう。イエスかノーで。
イエス。
イエス。
の。
周りの友達。
How cheating is fun and her friends taking pleasure in it. Not so base anymore now, is it? I think that you can infer from both Japanese men and women stepping out on each other so often that there is a lack of intimacy in their relationship.
Mind you, why is this piece of shit right here talking about lack of intimacy when she's not even having sex with the guy she with? She's with a content creator called a fake red pill, fake MGTOW content creator called Think Before You Sleep. Mind you, she had been railed by every other guy, but now she comes to this conclusion that she won't have sex until she get married. Now that's the scam overall. That's the scam that Nicole Michelle tried to pull on people, where they get to have their fun and then they get to pick the chosen one, the chosen man, to take all the responsibilities and give them used up, washed up sex. Mind you, there was a battle between Brittany Venti, Rollo Tomassi, Undead Chronic, and all these other different people about her chastity and her weight making her man wait. Now, her ex-boyfriend says she's bad in bed. Like I said, I can't find the videos and I don't know which title it is. Her ex-boyfriend, his name is Mason. I'll show you it. He pretty much exposed her that she's dirty. I don't think she's like that now because that was like 6 years ago. But she's born in bed. And he's like, anybody who would be with her, they would need porn to get off because she doesn't know how to have sex. So why the fuck is she sitting here talking about intimacy when she haven't mastered the skills to have sex with nobody? She take advantage of certain type of guys that she knows she can. And what a lot of these women will do, and let me give you some strategy they use. A lot of these women will use certain features on their body to enhance the experience of bad sex. So if a girl got good eyes, green eyes, or big boobs, or a guy who never seen a woman naked, she doesn't have to deal with him pumping for too long. Because he can't deal with the fact that he's actually having sex with a woman. And then out of nowhere, he's already done. He's finished. I told y'all before that a lot of these marriages and these relationships are based off of 5, 10, or 15 minutes of sex. Or even probably 5 minutes of sex. You have people in 10-year relationships that never went past the 30-minute mark in their sex lives, because the woman was constantly milking the fact that she was the only one that she was the best looking woman that this guy been with certain features.
Because you're stepping out and giving that intimacy to another person.
なんか情熱さいやこれはね
In the context of you're in a committed relationship, you're married to a Japanese man, and then he's going off, stepping out, sharing his intimacy with other people, and you're doing the same, and you have this sort of cognitive dissonance that it's not intimate and this disconnect between it because you're not getting that intimacy in general, so you separate it, and then you have to care for the kid, you have to do all the chores as that's happening, and you're in a romantic-less, potentially loveless relationship. To me, that doesn't really seem ideal. And if you try to leave the relationship, well, now you have to handle raising the kid, doing all...
Mind you, there's a stream of her and her boyfriend. And you're not fucking the guy. She's not fucking this dude, I think. She's not doing anything with this guy. She's not married to him because her thing is being married. I don't know. Like I said, I have to update the shit. I could be wrong. Somebody can prove me wrong. But the fact is, this chick right here is not having sex with her boyfriend. So you're just kissing. That's it. Like you're teenagers. But you have some nerve to talk about intimacy and all this other shit?
The chores, all of these responsibilities, versus if you date a foreigner, well, the Japanese women seem to like a few qualities about them that they don't find in Japanese men.
外国人の人がしていた行動でマナー面で見たときにもうとっても感心させられた素敵っていう行動ってありますか？なんか電車の中とかでなんかお年寄りの人に席を譲ってあげたりっていうのはなんか外国の方の方が多いなって思いました。
女の人と子供にめちゃめちゃ優しいなっていうのはある。マナーなのかわかんないですけど、レディーファーストがすごかったりだとか、ドア開けてあげたりとか、絶対それ結構ね、日本の人だと可愛い人にはやるけど。
And I told you this. I told y'all this before about how guys like us, when we go overseas, some of our politeness women really likes. See, the one thing that these idiots don't understand is that if you treat a man like absolute dog shit and he goes somewhere else, he's going to treat the people better than he got treated in his own country. So he has to make a good impression so he doesn't have this negative stigma to see if it's him. If it's him, or is the country that he came from? A lot of men come to that question that, hey, is it me that people don't like, or is it the fact that these people are unlikable and I don't need to be around these people in the first place? And I think about a high percentage of men who can't really do shit over here, social, relationships, sex, they go overseas and they kill it. They find girlfriends real fast, they find friends real fast, and they acclimate into another culture real fast. Because they have certain traits that people over here take advantage of. So a lot of people get sick and take advantage of, and they move and they go somewhere else. Other cultures appreciate the difference in their culture. I told y'all this before in many videos when I was making about SYSBM and traveling, that it's appreciated when you do something different. It's appreciated because the fact is, I just told you in the beginning of this video that a lot of women are not having good sex. A lot of women are having men-based sex or selfish sex, where it's all about the guy. That's why when a guy goes overseas and he get the chance to have sex and pay for sex, the women will tell her friends that's outside of the sex industry that this guy knows what he's doing. And then guess what? That's free promo. Women over here don't do that shit. The prostitutes over here, it's seen as a job. They numb to it. But the women overseas, trust me when I say this, in Dominican Republic, had a buddy tell me straight away, the girl said she hate having sex with half of the dudes. She only do it because some of them don't last that long. And when she got with him, my buddy, she was like, "You're the best looking guy I had sex with." You're the best looking guy I had sex with, and you're the best dude in the bedroom. I hope you come to me more and more. You don't have to pay that much no more. I would rather meet you. I would rather give it to you for free. And I have a couple friends who will be happy because their husband's not satisfying them. Sex is a commodity. Even if you're not that large down there, even if you're not that popular, sex is a commodity that a lot of people are not taking advantage of because people too busy being productive. Some cultures is about working, not laziness. They'll get you a job super fast, and all you got to do is pick up the opportunity. Here, you got to search it out, and all types of politic bullshit happening over here. People keep jobs away from certain people over here. And you got to sit here and make an opportunity for yourself. And that shit takes maybe 6 months, a year, maybe 3 months, 4 months, whatever. Sometimes you even got to beg people. And it makes you feel really like the scum of the earth because you begging somebody else for a job opportunity. And that's one of the things that nobody talk about when you look for work. It felt like you begging. You feel like you begging somebody, and they feel like they above you. I mean, I got scolded a few Sundays ago because I was late. Because from where I'm at, I gotta take certain transportation to go to this place, and I was late. And the person that I went to the job with was like, you can't do this again. And I'm like, the stuff was late. And I'm like, that's my first time being late out of all these months and weeks. It's my first time being late. I'm like, why the f did you sit here acting like that I'm late all the time? This is my first time. And shit like that made me like, okay, I'm about to walk the fuck out. But I'm like, this extra money did give me a little bit leeway, give me a couple little games, that I ordered from eBay, something like that. Help me get a couple of headphones, give me extra money after I had to pay for all, spend money on the bills and whatever. And I was like, okay, I'll keep doing this. And a lot of people have to deal with shit like that. You get tired of being taken advantage of and you go somewhere else. That's nature. That's actual nature. If anybody who go hunting understands that you can't hunt animals, you can't kill and hunt all the animals in the area because then you'll make them go extinct. Other animals have to eat other animals in order to keep a certain population controlled in that area. So, if wolves or bears have no food to eat because you hunting all of it, guess who they gonna come to eat now? You. They're gonna move to an area where the food is at. Just like here. Men don't feel like they have anything. Certain men don't feel like they can't make it here. So they have to migrate somewhere else in order to have the opportunity to feed off that. And then the environment keeps plunging in all these problems. I said this before. The reason why traveling, passport bros, SYSBM, because most of the cultures have a good structure, but a lot of them have bad practices. And they need somebody who gonna come in, who gonna practice their culture, who has a good practice, who has a good faith in their culture, and make their culture better and not abuse it. Everybody's abusing each other all over the world. And if you match people, you'll find out that they get along better than the people in their own culture.
ぶつかってきて日本人だともうそのままぶつかられるだけで仕方なんですけど外国人だとソーリーみたいな
It's honestly really shocking what the Japanese women are willing to tolerate. Some of these things are really bare minimum. Even strangers should get that common courtesy and decency. It goes to show that you teach others how to treat you. And I don't think it would have went this far if the Japanese women had put their foot down instead of just accepting whatever.
Yeah, it doesn't work like that in Japan. They don't have a Brittany Venti or any of these motherfucking people talking shit about men on Instagram or any of that. They don't have a man-hating culture in Japan. There's a reason why the crime rate ain't as high as in Japan. Or the looting ain't is in Japan. I just went to Walgreens last night. And there was 3 people that walked out of the store with bags. A bunch of homeless people. And I was asking them, I said, what's going on here? Well, why y'all letting them walk out? Oh, the company told us that we can't do anything because we just can't. So people can walk in, not pay shit, and don't go to jail. But as a regular citizen, I gotta pay. And I might go to jail. But this bum ass person right here can walk in here with bags and walk out of here. But we have that in America, where criminals get to do what the fuck they want now. They get to rob. You got more teachers, female teachers that are now being caught. And you got more women out here taking the lives of their kids, their innocent kids. But somehow, some way, women gonna put their foot down. What, like they did over here? OnlyFans women and all this other shit. It's already out of control. It's so out of control that most of the male populace in this country don't want to deal with them. So that's never gonna really happen.
今までで自分の体型を変えるべきだと言われたことはありますか？私は彼氏によく言われてました。
Westerners are a little bit more romantic in some sense.
But it's okay to body shame men in America. You can't try to make it one way. That's the one thing that a lot of these countries get it wrong. But in this country, exactly. You can't make it one way. You can't say body positivity for the women, but then you turn to the men and tell them they got to go to the gym. Or you tell them that they got to have a big penis to have sex, but then there's women with flat asses and all types of shit, and you want to have sex. I mean, mind you, we had Leslie Jones talking about men can't have sex, looking like the way she do.
And a little more committal. The women try to go and get their education so that they don't have to rely on a man for their income.
Okay, you need to do your fucking research. And this is what I'm talking about. Japan found out that you give women the credentials and she would get to a higher position. That's why they limited certain positions in Japan. I wish Kidakari Jones or somebody who in Japan know this can correct me. The last time I checked it up, They limit the positions that some of these women did in Japan because they found out that these women would hit 40 or they would hit 30 something and they will all want to have families. They all will retire and leave a position open. Why they gave those positions to a woman, and then the women bounced out of it and left the position open, and men felt like it was too hard for them to do because they saw a woman get it easily, so they had to walk away. That's the reason why. Some of the laws from America is coming over there, and it's hitting their culture a lot harder. This shit been happening. That's the reason why men don't want to date and do all that, because it's too much of a bother. The women finally caught up with it, and it's devastating.
Get a little independence so that they're not forced into a romantic-less, loveless relationship, right? But the problem with that is they get into debt and then they have to go get a second job. And what's that second job? Prostitution.
No, you're wrong. Most Japanese women are not going to be in prostitutes. Most Japanese women most of them go, they actually have a good lucrative business teaching Japanese to foreigners. Just like how it's lucrative to go be an English teacher in a foreign country. You could actually make good money in a country being a teacher of English. This is what happens when you're trying to have an agenda to keep men away from other races of women. So let's
start a new tradition. We're moving.
風俗に行くことは浮気か
times after multiple rendezvous that their backroom
Cheating is very much normalized in Japan, which I always thought was really, really weird. You can't cheat on a wife, but if you have a girlfriend, it's okay to cheat.
Why do you think Japanese people do that?
This idea of getting into relationships is just so strongly pushed down your throat. A lot of people just want the status of being in a relationship, but aren't, for the most part, committed to it.
Wow, just like here in these Western countries. See, they want men to have the responsibility of a boyfriend or a husband and be taking care of women, but women don't want the responsibility of having a husband and satisfying their husbands. I mean, there's so many quote-unquote married women on this online, but they hate on single men. Why the fuck are you worrying about single men? Worry about your husband. There's a lot of people over here who want status. That's why when the pandemic hit and everybody had to stay in the fucking house, guess what happened? These motherfuckers had to stare at each other, and they couldn't just take a break from each other, and they see how inseparable they really actually was. Both men and women didn't like each other like that because they had to stay in a confined space with each other. If I had to stay around my so-called friends, I would find out who they really are too. I'm not with my friends 24/7. When I finally found out who my friends really was, that was like 12 years. Because I was so busy having a friend. I was so busy having fun. I was so busy, oh yeah, we fought one time, whatever. But other than that, you don't know somebody until you have to know somebody and you're around them all the time. And it's not about, the friendship and how good it is. Oh yeah, man, it's good having a friend, blah, blah, blah. Eventually, you start seeing bad shit about this person. And when that person gets to a level where you don't fuck with them and they start to act like everybody else towards you, then you be like, yeah, this shit is over.
So thoughts on the fact?
I think it makes sense, especially when you have like repressive cultures and societies like that, or whenever they push down certain things down your throat. There's something when you push something down the throat of someone.
But ain't your partner priest told men that they got to sit here and take care of a family or a wife because that's the best thing in life? Y'all push that shit down. And mind you, both of these nutballs don't live in America. They live in Canada. To most, I heard horror stories about Canada and what they did to those truck drivers who strike.
Something else is gonna come out.
Guys, hi there, I'm Takashi from Japan.
Liar. I haven't. My hard-earned super chat money now that they're demonetized on hookers. We're cheating is As a low-value man who donates to Fresh and Fit regularly, my opinion is that if I want to use my hard-earned super chat money now that they're demonetized on hookers, I should be able to. Sorry.
And this is what they do. They have to sit here and take shots at men. And this is the reason why a lot of people don't want to fuck with society. Because ain't nobody calling these fuckers out. I called them out a couple times, but I'm a small channel. Nobody called these fuckers out. Especially what he just taught. I mean, this, mind you, this is the dude who overstepped his boundaries to Destin's wife dancing with her. And they thought it was okay for another man to touch another man's wife. Like, no, you getting too comfortable, buddy. Don't touch her. But Destin made him look like a stupid. Haven't you noticed that Aber and Preach and Destin's not hanging out with each other like that? I mean, let me see Aber and Preach. Let me see Aber and Preach. Let me see if they, cause have y'all noticed that y'all haven't heard from Destin lately? You haven't heard from Destin lately in the red pill space. He haven't made no videos of the red pill and none of this other stuff. Trying to find it, trying to see it. After that situation with his wife, have you noticed? I gotta see.
Let's keep watching.
日本人の男性は浮気する人が多いと思いますか？私はそう思います。でも私以外です。
It's all good for you two people. Yes, but could it be me? I love it.
いや、まあぼちぼちいるんじゃないですかね。なんでそう思いますか？友達がしてる人多いとか。
結構そうですね。周りでは結構みんな浮気しますね。そうですね。周りはまあぼちぼちちらほら隠しながらみたいなそういうのありますね。
じゃあ自分自身はしたことありますか？
私はないです。僕もないです。まだ。He said not yet. Yo, that is a wild culture. That's fire. I haven't yet. Do you know what I mean? Oh. Logic, like the logical point of being like, no, if it's her, it's bad. No, because there's a lot of male idols in Japan, or people male hosts whose job is to sleep with married women, or women who are coming who are single, right? The thing is, marriage oftentimes in the Western world, it seems like a union of love and this and that, but for some other parts of the world, like it is far more.
Did this dumb dickhead just said that in the West it's called a union of love? I mean, how stupid and dumb. Like, this is why I said to these guys, there's a reason why Aber and Preach don't have. Aber and Preach has, let me see it. They got 2.5 million or 2.5 million views on their subscribers, right? Let's see. And they crack probably 100-something thousand, but they never crack 1 million on their views. They never crack because most of their people are normies. But they only 1% right here. One video they cracked 1 million. And another video, 1 million. If it's about red pill men or something that happened in the news, they crack 1 million. Or maybe MGTOW or whatever, or just Pearly or some other shit, they crack 1 million. Now, but they don't hit 1 million on every video. They don't. They don't hit 1 million on every fucking video. There's a reason why they don't hit 1 million on every video is because their takes are stupid. So somehow their unions in America, marriage unions in America is love. And all the divorced men. Okay, sure.
And business than it is anything else. And so in a union where there's no kind of love or lust for each other, sometimes both of the parties end up using these host services to fulfill their desires or their carnal stuff. And then they have their husband or their wives for the more family presentable outside stuff. So that's the gist of it. I mean, some of that even exists here in North America, but far less than in other places.
And you see what he did at the end? Oh, that exists in America, but far less place. No, dumb fuck. There's a lot of women out here using their image, using good men as an image, and being they back blown out by a thug or some player or some shit. Let's be real. Go talk to the married men. I talked to a whole bunch of player type niggas who fuck married women. The 2 porn stars that I was cool with had me show me videos and text messages and all in pictures of these girls with their husbands. And they're fucking them. Are you serious? That's the whole point. You need to get to know that side of things of the dudes who fuck people's wives and girlfriends. And then to turn your fucking stomach to the point where you're like, nah, I don't want to be one of these dudes who getting cheating on.
浮気してる人多いと思いますか？多い。
That's what it sounds like they're saying.
風俗に行くことは浮気か。
My name is Natasha, or my name is this and that. They wouldn't.
Why preach making us seem like cold Vladimir Putin cyborgs?
Well, it's just different. It's not that they cold. I think there's a different logic. And I enjoy the logic over there. It's like, I'm not going to say, how you doing? I don't know you like that.
So you wish you were Russian?
No, but I understand that part of it. Sometimes it makes you like, why do I ask people how they doing? I don't.
Now. And I'm telling you, it's a kind of a campaign of trying to keep men away from certain countries, right? They try to do it with Brazil. They try to do it with Colombia. They doing it with Colombia because they're taking misinformation about Colombia because from what I understand is Venezuelans that's going over there robbing people, doing all this crazy shit, and that's a small percent of Colombian people doing that. But they want to make sure that it's all Colombian, right?
周りの友達、女性の周りの友達で浮気。じゃあ次に自分の彼氏、まあいる。
Now, mind you, this guy is all his videos. I'm gonna give you the analytics to his videos. His videos don't get a lot of views. It's not interesting to know other parts of what Japan is about. They purposely found something that they can use against men and say, look, see, they cheating. Men going over there, right there, they're cheating. The women ain't better than the women over here. That's what they try to find out. So this is what you see the anti-passport bros and the anti-SYSBM dudes are doing. Or the females are doing. They're trying to find any little fucking thing to get at men to say they're no better than us. Because they're angry, even though we're the low of the low. Remember? We're losers, we're weirdos, we should leave, we should be quiet, all this other shit. We're the lowest of the low. But they're angry because we pick other people over them. And we don't treat them like what we treat somebody else. Right? So his videos really don't hit 1 million. This is here we go right here. Only videos where it confirms their biases on other people, where his views hit 1 million. But other than that, when it's coming a thing, what's it like being LGBT in Japan? They don't care. Do Western guys like see? So you have a certain bias. Content creators overseas are doing the same thing content creators in this country are doing. They do it for clicks and views. I mean, I can go to Brazilian guys. I can go to Brazilian dudes, their YouTube videos. See, I'm in other places. That's why I don't really, like I said, I take a break from this bullshit over here. Let me see. But I'll show you in an other video.
Cheating is very much normalized in Japan, which I always thought was really, really weird. You can't cheat on a wife, but if you have a girlfriend, it's okay to cheat.
Now let's go. Let's stay stick on Brittany Venti, right? Brittany Venti was a fun streamer. I have her videos archived. When she act like a dunce, she had a good run until she trying to be seriously, right? Serious. So I told you it's a good avenue. One of the easiest avenues to go to in any kind of thing is being fake like you red pill and fake like you not like the other girls. And being a fake advocate. I already exposed the girl Tay, whatever her name is, right? As a fake ass advocate. Now she's talking for men and women now. She's talking for women and men now. And she's sounding more like the women she talk about than she was 6 months ago. She feeling herself too much, right? Brittany Venti need to stay relevant by going against the status quo. At first she tried to make herself look like she going against certain women. And then guess what happened? They striked her ass down. She started crying because they fucked her. They banned her. I think they banned her, suspended her Twitter account, and they took down some of her videos on YouTube. And she was getting everybody else to fight for her, like what women really do. When a lot of other people get banned, nobody fights for them. Not only that, when you fight and stand up for another guy, it's somehow bad. But when you fight and stand up for a woman who put herself in a position where she went against another woman, somehow, some way, you gotta rescue her. So, Brittany Venti is now trying to take the route of acting like she's different than the other girls. She's trying to sit here and act and pretend like she going after the red pill. Then she try to go after the women, or the women who do this, and even though she's one of those women. That's why her views in some of her videos really don't hit the same as when she go against Just Pearly Things, or when she go against red pill guy. When she go against women, nobody fucks with her like that. They don't care. They just say, "Oh yeah, you the best, Brittany." But actually, in all reality, she going against her competition and she losing against them because Eliza Blue spanked that ass with her influence. So let's see her go against a woman just like her, but Roman Army, a fake woman advocate who sells pictures on OnlyFans.
This is Roma Army, and she is a men's rights activist, which I don't really get it because men already have the right to dispense money to women. She'll probably take that joke seriously too in order to placate her simps some more. Roma Army has over 1 million subs on YouTube, and she reacted to my TikTok where I talk about the concept of...
Oh yeah, and mind you, her and her simps, she tried to get people caught up in pedo. She was posting pedo in, I think, a Reddit forum or some kind of forum. And she was trying to say that these guys were pedos because she was posting shit in some kind of other shit that she was doing. And basically she was trying to throw cases on people. And she was getting her fans to do that. So she ain't better than anybody else. And people called her out for it. And for some reason, I think YouTube took some of those videos down. Mind you, Twitch knew that she wasn't really all that up there. Because you for real? I knew this shit exists, but I never looked at this shit. I never cared about this shit. So Roman Army, she do has an OnlyFans. She not only got an OnlyFans, she got sex videos on here. What the fuck are you talking about? You're a man advocate, a men's right advocate, and you on here selling pictures, sex videos. Yeah, she trying to have a filter of men who say, oh, you stand up for men. Subscribe to my OnlyFans. And Brittany Vinci, she was crying like a motherfucker on YouTube about when Eliza Blue hit her and shit. Mind you, we gonna see that, and that was a couple months ago, I think, probably last year.
Of wiener fishing, and I compared it to catfishing. She titled her reaction to me, Brittany Vinci. Can we talk about dick fishing? Wow, there is. That was from Andrew Tate, by the way. He said girls should wear buddy whose eyes are farther apart. I think we should. Several times in this video, Roma calls me a hoe. I would like to inform you guys that despite her going on several videos talking about I don't have no hoes like this girl, and then anyway, I'm giving Roma an open invitation for a makeover. In case Roma decides to take my offer up on a makeover, I will keep.
Now, and this is what she does. She gets her simps to say that she's the best looking girl alive. And she goes around calling other women ugly. Like she ain't really ugly. At all. Now, to me, I let white men judge her. Because she's white. She says she's black. But I don't see any resemblance of her being black. White dudes are more harshly judging their own women than black dudes. Just like Asian dudes are more harshly judging their women than black dudes. And Latinos. Oh yeah, and I found that one of my crushes, Vanessa Hudgens, isn't Latina. She's Native American, which I don't know how to think about that, but let's not talk about that now.
While people may experience depression differently,
now mind you, and I want to tell you how the grifts happens. A lot of these women and these men, they don't have anything else to do. The last ditch effort they have is going against men who travel, going against Red Pill, because it's the easy target to do. Everything they did in real life has too much power for them to take down. They can't go against certain things. Your boy Abba and Preach didn't talk about the situation that happened with a TikToker who took his own life on TikTok. His name was the Inquisitor. He was a Call of Duty streamer or whatever. And what was it? He was a Call of Duty streamer, and an older guy sent a younger girl after him to lie on him and said he was trying to pursue her. And the allegation got so bad, the guy took his life on TikTok. Guess what happened? Abba and Priest didn't talk about it. Abba and Priest are not talking about the Palestinian stuff that happened. They run away from the real issues to go after Red Pill men. They don't go after big issues. None of these people do. So if Red Pill's so bad, let it burn out and let the government stomp out the Red Pill guys. But somehow, some way, it took almost a whole bunch of times to get rid of Cynthia G, or to get rid of Fresh and Fit, or to get rid of Just Pearly Things. The reason why YouTube is getting rid of some of these people because they got high stream numbers and they have high stream numbers, but they're seeing that the men, they contribute the viewers that they contribute that go listen to their stuff, they can't control the men like they used to. So they know that their movies suck. They know all the shit that they pushing out, these agendas and shit. They're trying to stop that. But it's too far gone. In order for all this shit to change around, some laws have to be changed immediately. But they'll never do that because, well, they hide it behind fake ass votes and all this other shit. It took like 20-something years for the MRA to change some of the laws, and they only changed it in a few places. I was around when some of these guys was complaining about their situations and shit. They worked their ass off. It had nothing to do with motherfucking online. It had nothing to do anything. They was doing this shit behind the scenes. It took them 20 years of begging, money, all this other shit. Took them years to do that. Just to sit in the course and talk to people and woo people. That process takes a long ass time.
You all live with the...
He was unable to comprehend that Undead Chronic is not a good person. He roasts everyone in any way, including appearance. The worst thing he could have done is respond.
Now, this is the thing about Think Before You Sleep. This is the guy who Brittany Vinci dated. Now I'm going to show you Brittany Vinci's past. See? And people are talking about that. Mind you, she with a guy. She never kissed him. Or I think she never kissed him. She never gave him a hand job. Never gave him no access to nothing. She's talking about being a virgin until she get married. So she gonna string this dude along. See? And she pretended that she was abstinent, but I didn't notice, saying she's a nymphomaniac. You get the fuck out. You can't take her serious. So, a couple years ago, she got arrested.
Let's quick rundown Periscope.
Okay, good. You can Periscope.
This is her former boyfriend. Different from her so-called Think Before You Sleep. This is 6 years ago.
I'm in Periscope for legal purposes.
Now, this is what these weirdos used to do. For them to feel like they better or they're doing something in their life. Let me check. Okay, I'm over an hour. A lot of them are always attending rallies to think that they're doing something in life. Charities don't do shit. I want to show you videos from the 90s, back in the 90s, and show you that the reality of these fucking advocates and these so-called charities and these fake-ass positive movements don't change shit. But I'll do that in another video.
A video game where you...
Hit me because I was standing there and you're trying to push us off of the stage because we had free speech and then you in there deny us of our free speech.
You see this? And that's her whole spiel. Being a victim, stepping over the line, and then being a victim and getting saved by other people. This is a pattern for her. Now,
Gosh, it makes me so scared when I say stuff like YouTube is suspending full channels, because I know that there's people out there that mass report me